so Pauhana and time to dive, but I forgot my slippers. So I'm gonna take the extra 10 minutes to go grab my slippers and then head on to go dive. So I'm gonna try and hop in, but first slippers. Made it. Let's check out the water. Yeah, so the water is really nice. Pretty flat, not much surf. See a little bit of current, but yeah, check it out, guys. So yeah, it's flat. Normally these rocks here is all pounding like waves and stuff, so it's pretty flat, but I do see a current. I guess my two choices is swim far or stay close. So I think plan A is swim far, and then plan B is stay close. It all depends on water conditions, so hopefully. So yeah, I'm aim right at my ski prong, and I'm just gonna see what happens, what I can find. I guess you could say I need to shoot fish, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, now I'm gonna get the gear ready and suit up and hop in. So see you guys in the water, I guess. Alright guys, I forgot my weight belt. So I am going to sacrifice the 15 minutes up, 15 minutes down to go and grab my weight belt. Yeah, and I'm playing with fire here because I already threw in my float and stuff, so it's out there floating and I'm leaving. Oh, this is a big gamble, but pretty much if this pans out, then only in Lanai can you do this. But yeah, I'm leaving my float, it's anchored and all that. I'm leaving it in the water. I just brought my fins, my wetsuit, all that wasn't attached to my floater with me, and I'm going home to grab my freaking weight belt. All right, made it back home fairly quickly in 5 minutes since I left. Oh my god, what did I do with my weight belt? I don't know what I did with my weight belt. I never leave my weight belt in here. Luckily it's only been 6 minutes since I left the harbor. Round 3 technically. Alright, I'm back, and it's been total time away 25 minutes. Still here. Eee. Make sure my gun and my ski prong is still attached to that shit. Yeah, it's there. All right, suit up and hop in. Alright, so this is my first drop at 52 feet. I took this drop as my practice drop. Now, on the way down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I could have done my breathe up a lot better. My breath hold wasn't totally uncomfortable, but I couldn't shake that feeling that I just could have done my breathe up a lot better. And so, unconsciously, I think that feeling, that thought, kind of carried over throughout the entire dive. So I fought my way up current, up to this ledge, and again, I did my breathe up while fighting the current, and on my way down, I just had the thought like I could have taken more time to do my breathe up. And so during this whole breath, I was just not having it. I was not mentally there. I get down to this ledge, it's at 55 feet. I take a peek over, and that's about it. I kind of bail this dive. So I moved up current, got into the shallows. This is about a 25-foot hole, maybe. It's a big hole, but it's a shallow hole. In a way, you could say that I'm taking an easy dive. Hello? Anybody home? I always love checking this cave because you just never know where they could be. There's so many cracks and crevices that they could be hiding in. Back into the currents, and I spot this uku from the top. Now it's not too deep, it's about 45 feet, but I am in the current. So this time around, I try to take a longer breathe up and I make my drop. So I get to the bottom, snuggle up a little bit, and I see this small uku right here. Now I know there's a bigger one because I seen him. That's the one I saw from the surface. And I'm looking around and I spot him right there. So throw out a few grunts and scratch the rock. And this guy's a little bit curious. He's not super curious, but he's not wild at the same time. So just trying to remain calm and hoping he comes in. Round 2. Now I move a little bit up current, still the same spot, but just where I could use the current to get behind these boulders, hoping that this will be a better hiding spot for me. I'm focusing on slow, steady kicks to conserve energy, and as soon as I get to the bottom, I see him for a brief second right behind this boulder. So I kind of try to settle in and relax and kind of prepare for a long breath hold. As much as I'm trying to remain calm, you can tell by my slight head movements that I'm kind of anxious. I see him again right there, so I decide I'm going to try and climb over this boulder to intercept him, and that was a mistake. He kind of sees me and veers off. Round 3 and final round. I told myself if I do not get him on this drop, then I am abandoning ship. Once again, I'm trying to use the current to get behind this boulder, and as soon as I get to the bottom, I pick up my spoon that I threw before the drop and kind of settle in. I lost track of him. I can't seem to find him, so I'm trying to really focus on slow head movements while I scan the area so that I don't scare fish and conserve energy. I am scanning, not seeing much. See this little Moanakali, but it's looking like game over for me. But just like that, the ukus reappear. But he's coming in really slowly. Better luck next time. So I was moving up current and the current picked up even stronger. But I saw a pile of moo on the other side of this ledge. Now it's fairly shallow, it's about 45 feet. So I decided to try for these moos and I had one hell of a time squeezing in these boulders. After a bunch of fidgeting around, I finally get a little comfortable. Not really, but a little bit. And I try to settle in and hunt these moo. Now, as you can see, I'm in a very awkward, uncomfortable position. But the moos are right there. But I figure, go back up, redo my breathe up, and find a better hiding spot. So I find a better hiding spot in this crevasse, and again, I cannot shake this anxious feeling that I got. But I try to pull out all the tricks, lay my head down, close my eyes, and hope that these moves come in. I take a peek up and they're slowly coming in, but they're not quite in range just yet. Without looking, I'm trying to slowly move my gun into position. But because of that, I think I scared them away. Bye bye moo. So I abandoned the moo pile, made the grueling swim up current up to the zone I wanted to hunt, and I am trying to play the current and still mistimed it. I missed my mark. I wanted to land on that sand edge right in front of me, but I ended up on this rock shelf. I looked away real quick and this Moana collie comes in. He's super tame. I'm just trying to call him in and move slowly. And he comes back. But of course, I missed. So already throughout this session, my breath holds was not feeling the best. Now, I missed the Moana collie and now I'm in my own head. I try to remain calm, redo my breathe up, and come back down, hoping I see the Moana collie, but instead I see these Vekenonos. So it's like redemption. I just gotta focus a little bit better. Boom! I got him. But my shaft gets stuck and eel comes in and eats my Vekenono. Now I couldn't break my shaft free from the surface, so now I have to make another dive down. I am really not feeling that because I don't want to be near that eel that's on the bottom. Now I am really irate. I have to make a second drop just to retrieve my shaft because I couldn't break it free, and there is an eel under my shaft. you'll see his head pop out right here, and I kind of frantically, violently rip my shaft out of the rocks. So I abandon that zone, move further up the current, and what do you know? I see more moo. I make my drop and land perfectly on top of this hilltop and stick out like a sore thumb. After some adjustments, I'm able to get comfortable and prepare to hunt these moo, which are in the middle column. This little uku comes in, and now I'm thinking, plan B. I take a nice long breathe up, but no matter what I do, I cannot break this anxious feeling. Thanks to the current, I have to pull myself forward just to be able to lay comfortably in this little indention. This little uku comes back in, but I'm fighting the anxious feeling, and maybe there's a bigger uku nearby. I throw a couple grunts out, and this uku turns right back in. So I'm thinking, Raja, sashimi time. I calmly track him. He comes right in, and I blow it. I shoot right under him. I make my way to the drop-ups in desperation to find fish. But all I'm greeted by is stronger currents and this small pile of moonies. And I'm thinking it's not worth shooting these moonus in this ripping current. With my confidence shattered and my morale broken, I take one last drop to bury myself in defeat. If you listen closely, you can hear the world's smallest, saddest violin. All right, done dive. No fish. Man, I tried pretty hard. Oh shit, you know what, my battery is dying, so I'm gonna make this quick. But yeah, I tried freaking hard for all those fish. Like there's good fish. There's those ukus, there's those moose. I missed that freaking wanakali. I cannot believe I missed that wanakali and the uku. I missed the uku too. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't concentrating hard enough or what. Tried hard and that's all I could do. I am diving solo. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I am diving solo, and it's been years since I dove solo. I try not to dive solo anymore. When I do dive solo, I put caps on myself. Oh, it's dying really quick. My camera's gonna die. I'm going to wash up, head home, get ready for the party. There's a party tonight, and then I will talk to you guys when I get back home, so later tonight, and kind of review the dive. See you guys in a couple hours. All right, so it is the next day. I just wanted to do a quick recap of the dive, kind of like now that I had some time to sit on it and analyze why I was feeling the way I was feeling and what I could have done better to make myself feel more comfortable. First off, the breath holds. My breath holds weren't that bad. I remember doing some minute 44 dives. Going back a couple of dives, I hit that 1 minute 55 mark. You know, everything was firing on that dive. Knowing that I can hit that 1 minute 55, I guess I didn't realize that I was using that time as like my benchmark. And that's not the case. I graph out my dives and I average out, you know, times and depth and all this stuff. A minute 55 is not my average. My average is more so, maybe, I haven't graphed it out, but is more in the 130s. And using these graphs that I do, that's what I base what is comfort level, what is pushing it. But the way I was feeling in the dives, that uncomfortable feeling, is due to several things. One, I was extremely excited. I was just looking forward jumping into the water. I wanted to make sure I stayed on top of everything, all my responsibilities, smash that out of the way, and then jump in. I guess you could say, yeah, like a little bit of fatigue. And let's not forget, because I was so excited, I forgot my slipper, then forgot my weight belt. Weight belt. Made multiple trips back home. That just led to that just played on my mental game. And then to top that, I don't think I took enough water. I wasn't dehydrated, but at one point during the dive, I had a Sprite in my cooler. I don't normally drink sodas often. Like I rarely drink sodas. At work, they had extra sodas and I picked up one, put it in my cooler. And at some point, it was right after that eel ate my freaking vekenono. I was thinking, oh man, that Sprite is sounding really crispy right now. I was just thinking about the Sprite. And then even during work, I was thinking like, oh man, I should drink more water. But I was trying to smash out work and make sure there was enough mulch for work. So I just grinded 5.5 hours worth of work without taking a break. So all these things is what played a huge role in me not being comfortable during my dive. Again, numbers wise, I was hitting my average when I dive solo. And I don't dive solo often. Not as often as when I was in my 20s. This is like literally the first time in a couple years I've dove solo. But when I do, I set restrictions on what I'm going to do. One major thing is I hunt at a shallower depth. On this dive, I was doing like mostly between 35 feet and 50 feet. That's the depth I was hunting. I wanted to dive, the 70s, but just because I'm by myself, as an extra precaution, I literally set a cap at 60. And finally, looking back at all my shots, from the vekenono to the moanakali, the uku, one thing I realized looking back is when I started aiming, especially at the uku and the moanakali, I aimed, but I wasn't focusing. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, I pointed, but did not aim. And ended up shooting above the fish. And my lack of focus was due to, not staying well hydrated and body fatigue. These are things I've reminded myself in the past. These are mistakes I've done a long time ago. And I've worked on making sure to stay hydrated. Make sure to not overexert myself before a dive. Most of the time we do morning dives now. Like we dive in the morning and then it leads into afternoon. So I'm fresh when I jump in. But this time around, it was after work. So again, something I haven't done in a long time. I haven't dove after work in a very long time. But despite all that, it was still a great dive. Diving has become my therapy. I really don't mind not shooting fish, but it's all about like analyzing what went wrong, my mistakes, blah, blah, all that stuff. I'm not gonna into detail, but yeah, I guess you could say back to the drawing board. Graph that dive, graph the last couple dives, look at the numbers, find the averages, and then move forward on what I'm going to do with my dive next time. And then just make sure I'm on top of hydration and all that. Lots of things to do, lots of things to look at, footage, numbers, and all that. Need to do better prep. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Didn't get any fish this time. Back to the drawing board, I guess. But yeah, I really do hope this entertained you guys or you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shoots.